What's going on, guys? Clone Force 23 here. Got Roger Mack and my boy Alex. Say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
To the people, we are back. And we're back
We're
with our
back.
number one boy. Well, he's not my number one boy.
No,
He's definitely not your number one boy, but
I
he's
know.
the people's number one boy. You people chose him.
Yeah.
This is our number one deck list for our Road to PQ series for Set 312 Republic. By no surprise, it is Jango Fett Tarkintown. Got a
Yeah.
lot to say about this guy, but a lot of it people should be aware of. But if you this is the number one deck. You need a deck to play at a PQ. Sleeve this up, and you will probably win the entire thing.
And it's crazy. I mean, yeah, again, this Road to PQ series is for somebody that, wants to give it a try, but may not want to go if they're not feeling confident about something. Like, you're going to feel confident with this deck, and there's a million reasons why. You know, if you've been following the game, Boba Fett is no longer a thing in the competitive scene, so Jango was kind of the replacement that everyone kind of funneled in, and it kind of found itself to be its own monster.
Yeah,
This is a clear, you know, cunning, aggression, villainy type deck. If you saw any of our other videos, we talked about how Tarkintown is just insane in the early game to just maintain that aggression. Um, and Boba's, or not Boba, Jango's ability, if you don't know, when you deal damage, you can exhaust that leader and you can exhaust your leader and exhaust that unit. So great tempo. So even if even if you don't have the Tarkintown play, which they're probably burning at turn one or turn two, you're still exhausting a unit, which then allows you to be more aggressive. So it's like great.
yeah.
So
This just feels like the truest tempo deck we have ever had in the game. And we don't want to throw shade on our past selves, but we definitely did not think Jango was going to be this good before the set came out. He got spoiled, but yeah, I mean, it is just true tempo. You play a guy, I play a guy. I ping your guy down, but I get to attack with my guy, and then I just keep doing that. Like,
yeah,
uh,
chip away at you,
okay,
slow down. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's nuts. And you know, I didn't expect a deck where I would be terrified to see an ISB agent, but now I do.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. It just took that boba red space and just like took it to the moon. Like it hijacked the space,
it,
um,
yeah,
and it just flew away with it. And then we just get to play like all the aggro stuff, but just the utility in this deck is crazy because your core cards are like your 3 drops and on. The anything before that is just like, wow, whatever I have to deal damage, and
yep.
it's like so much. Um, we're playing 15 2-drop units, and they're like all good. Like the worst one you want to play on turn one is Cartel Spacer, but it's not even bad. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
2/3 in space. Um, but I think really what kind of shines is, like you said, one, the ISB agent turn one play is so punishing. If you get ISB agent Greedo, it's even more crazy because he
Yeah.
gets like 2 units to your 0 that gets killed from Tarkintown.
Yep.
um, and then all the low cost events that can just be paired with big stuff later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Swoop downs, daring raids, surprise strikes, sneak attacks. It's like it's so brutal.
Yeah, you're just and not to mention, the triple dark raid, you're cheesing out units sooner to deal more of that, damage because you're chipping away, you're using your low cost events to either, do more damage or slow them down or both. you
Yeah.
know, and it's just, you just can't keep up. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but for Jango found a way for me to want a fire spray out more than another card, which is Ruthless Raider.
Oh
This
my gosh.
this Ruthless Raider in Jango is insane. I knew it was a good card before this came out, but the fact that you're going to deal 2 damage to a base, deal 2 damage to a unit, and tap it down, and then have a 4/6 in space, which is not easy to remove, is just ridiculous. And then, it pairs with your swoop down and surprise strikes if you need to. And if you manage to kill it, it's just going to do its effect again, which
Yeah, again. Yeah.
is going to put you so far behind.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then when Jango flips, he flips on 5. He's 3/7. So the 7 health, still great. But now you get to tap down as much as you want. And not a lot of people have a clean way to deal with Jango right away. So you're seeing that tempo action a lot more after 5, which feels really bad if you aren't prepared for that. You're probably gonna, this probably could be a whole different video, but if you're trying to deal with this, you're probably dedicating a whole lot of your sideboard to this, which then can leave you exposed to, to other decks that you aren't anticipating or aren't really set to deal with in your main board, because, a lot of people are trying to find ways to get rid of those 2 health units in space to kind of keep up. Or, I don't even know if there's a real clean answer to deal with, Ruthless Raider, other than like going way out there. The only thing I've tried is, Force Lightning in a Maul Green.
Yeah. It's so hard. It's like if they slam that down, it's just so tough. It's probably the best card in the deck, like you said. It is like insane for what it does for this deck, especially when like the first 2 turns of this deck is like do whatever you want. That's not where this deck shines, but it seems to like that's what messes people up so much. Is like the first 2 turns is just play a low drop unit, maybe use the Tarkintown to clear something, play one of your 3-drop space units, and then 4 and 5 is like your triple Dark Raid turn into sneak attack. And if you triple Dark Raid a Ruthless Raider and then you sneak attack at the next turn, oh my gosh.
If that's your 4 or 5 turn, it's
just
ridiculous.
Brutal. Brutal amounts of damage. And to your point too, Jango is just like, you use him as just like a 3-cost damage. He's not even like that relevant to your game as the Jango player. He's just out there to, like you said, enable more pings in one turn, but also you can like slam him into a Han or slam him into a Sabine to stop them from attacking with them.
Yeah.
And then you just have all your space units. Somehow the deck that, maybe not the deck that plays the most set 3 cards, but has made one of the set 3 cards one of the most broken cards in the game. And it's a common, by the way, the freaking PP shooter.
Yeah, it's
the
so
Elite
bad.
P-38 Starfighter. Wow. You like always want to play that on turn 2.
It's so brutal because you're either going to Tarkintown with that, or you're just slowing down because it's going to do it when played and when defeated. It's like, cool, for 2.
And it's swinging for 3 probably.
Yeah, in most situations, you're, even if you get that removal spell, you're still gonna get something dealt to you, or that's the only thing you're doing that turn, and it's just a terrible, terrible time.
Yeah, I mean, looking at our space lineup, our 3-cost space units, all non-unique, by the way. Like, you can just line space with stuff, and it is just so hard for some decks to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot in space right now, and there's only a few key cards and a few key aspects that can really deal with that and not like commit their entire deck to it, which then really is only slowing them down before they start playing those raiders and fire sprays, which if I'm thinking about how to deal with this deck, that's the best scenario for me, is to mitigate as much damage as I can until the late game. And then, right. I'm probably playing something later and I gotta play something bigger. And I can soak that damage to kill those things and come back.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just the utility of the deck. Like, we're playing 5/1 drops, just like cards that aren't that good all the time, but they're super good if you use them for a specific matchup. And then we're playing 2/1 drops in the side deck. And it's just like, oh my gosh, the amount of just like the deck kind of just, I don't want to say it plays itself, because it does take a very, like, again, kind of like Sabine. You can play it at this level, kind of at like face value of the deck, probably do really good. But then there's the next tier up, which is like a really good pilot. You learn how to play the lines in this deck. You know what to do in certain matchups, and it's just so hard for certain decks to deal with what it pumps out.
Yeah, it is massive. Like, I will not be surprised when I see Jango take, at least a quarter to, to 50% of PQs, because of how aggressive it is, how accessible it is as well. I mean, if we're looking at terms of price, like all the cards that we are sitting here terrified of are commons and uncommons.
Yeah.
It's like, your rares in this set, your rares in this are fire sprays. Okay. Which are not hard to get. And your legendary here is one Cad Bane, which you could probably live without.
Yeah, it's just optional. Like, the cat isn't even, that's not even necessary. It's just like a good win more card.
I guess there's there's the TIE silencers too, I guess, are legendaries, but
yeah, I guess that's true. But you could also just play the Underworld ship.
Oh, Merc Gunship, yeah.
Yeah, Merc Gunship. It just has like a less good ability. But it's the same thing, really. It's just a 3/2 in space. That's what we use it for.
Yeah, I mean, you still get the same effect, the same terror that's going to come from all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a card kind of coming out of the sleeper pick that just is like crazy in this deck is TIE Advanced. Like, oh my gosh, when I play TIE Advanced and like pump a Ruthless Raider or a Lurking TIE, it just is like the game is over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot that you're going to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, the TIE Advance coming in against like control, and then if my Lurking TIE gets into a TIE Advance turn, like uncontested, GG. Like, you will not be able to get rid of that unit.
Yeah, I mean, it was talked about a lot when it first came out, how it's got that hexproof on there. You're either doing something to reduce its HP, or you're fighting it, which are both most of the time not fast enough in some areas. So it's like, you can see that TIE Advance pump, which just makes it just a terrible time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's good. Might be the best deck. Probably is the best deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, you're gonna see this at PQs. You're gonna see different variations of it. Be prepared for this deck. If you have nothing to play and you can get this built, play this deck. There's different variations. You could definitely find some online. This is kind of the one that I've settled on. I've been playing just kind of more win more kind of stuff, and then some utility pieces in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall, just super impressive. Super impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just get this one banned too at this rate. Who knows?
Yeah, let's do it. Ban both of them, father and son.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting if we see, I mean, because the logic of Boba getting banned, I think the two biggest reasons is that one, it took 60% of the PQs, and then two, it had competitive energy in any variation. I think were the two big things FFG came about. This specifically is Jango Red. Like there's some Jango yellows out there that are that are good. I don't think they're as oppressive as this, but yeah, like you said, this is going to be, you're going to see this. You're going to see your more competitive players playing some variation of this. So if anything from this video, take a look at this if you want to play something else and be ready to play against something like this.
Yeah, for sure. Be ready for Jango. And if not, just play Jango.
Yeah. But
all right, guys. Well, Alex, if you don't got anything else, I'm done talking about this boy. We got to work on these to get this out to you guys again for our upcoming weekend of PQ Gaming. But this is going to conclude our top 5 Road to PQ deck lists. We'll have some more content coming soon, kind of like this Rogue matchup and this Less Played. But these are our just straight up top 5. These are the most competitive. If you need help, here they are.
Yeah, I think by the time this video drops, we'll be on our way to our first PQ to see if we can take home the mat.
True, that's true. If any of you guys recognize us, we'll be heading out to the secret North Dakota PQ in Fargo. So if anyone recognizes us out there for any reason, feel free to say hi. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Again, feel free to like, subscribe, helps us out greatly. So we will, of course, be throwing the deck list in the description. Otherwise, Clone Force 23, peace out.
Peace out, y'all.
Grand Army of the Republic when deployed. Galactic warfare you cannot avoid. Go ahead, be a battle droid. Face off against my clone troopers and get destroyed. Space tech, spaceports, TCG, card sports, of course. Till my voice goes hoarse. Welcome, decking with the strategy, the energy. It's Clone Force 23.